Hi guys, I'm Sam.
And I'm Nikki.
And we're just two lassies.
I don't really think we're feeling too good today.
No, my period's due in like 2 days and my organs went a bit mental at the gym yesterday, so I'm a bit swollen and a bit tender, and sore.
And the sun's went away, so I just feel instantly depressed. I know.
Get you on that
But
flight.
I feel like laughing helps.
It does.
I feel like laughing helps. I mean, not necessarily about the subject today, because we are going to talk about breakups.
How do you go over them?
Friends breakups, how do you go over it?
Yep.
Which is honestly anybody's game because it doesn't come with a handbook, that's for fucking sure.
No.
But I just breakups in general. There's been a few times where I've been relieved.
Yeah, so see if you feel relieved, that's obviously the best sign ever. It's the right move.
There's times where I've just been like, you know what?
Bye. Over it. But they do say that though, women, like if they're going to be the ones that break up with someone, they actually detach first before they break up.
I think, because I've had this discussion with like other pals,
and
it's a definite thing that women mentally leave before we physically leave. Which is so fucking true, because I've done that a couple of times. In fact, maybe 3 or 4 times I've done that.
Really?
Ever since, like, I had a boyfriend when I was like 21, and we broke up when I was like 24. It was mostly on his side, which was fair play, by the way, because I was an anxious, codependent mess back then. But since then, I've broken up with every person I've been with. Since then, I've been the one that's broken up.
Yeah.
And I've always been like, oh my God, it's a string of failed relationships, I'm embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, you were the one that was ending. You're the one that's ending it. And I'm just like,
you're ending it for a reason.
So
like,
true.
You know it's not in alignment with you and what you want. Like, that's not a bad thing.
Sometimes you get like a little bit of flavour. So like relationship tapas, how I like to say that.
Yep.
You get a bit of the flavour and you like what you initially taste. You're like, oh, that's sweet. That tastes good. Yeah. But then as time goes on, you're just like, oh, this is actually leaving a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth.
But they do say that though, like men will show you what you want to see in the first 3 months, and then after 3 months, that's when everything they've been holding back starts to like slowly reveal. So if they are like narcissistic, gaslighting or whatever, that'll all start to kind of creep up.
Yeah,
then
once
after
the mask begins to
starts. Yeah.
But it's like a slow drip with those types of people, because we are going to speak about the difference between boys and men. There is a difference.
There is a difference.
So when it comes to like that boy kind of behaviour, the mask really does start to slip, but it's almost like drip fed. Slowly but surely, and you're kind of like, initially you're like a bit confused, like, oh, he doesn't usually use that tone with me, or oh, that comment was a bit harsh.
That's when you need to nip it in the bud.
You let it slide because of all this great stuff that's happening over here, but then slowly but surely they just kind of take the mask off. But I saw this female artist on TikTok, no surprise, and she basically did a painting about like a kind of narcissistic relationship, but there was also a UV side, so she painted an extra UV. So you see this photo and initially you're like, oh, it does look confusing, but then she turns the UV light on and there's like a wolf and there's like a stabbing in the heart, and I was like, it actually looks like a narcissistic relationship. That is what it looks like.
Wow, you need to send me that. That's
I'll need to find it and tag you in it, because I found it so fascinating.
Aye, but that's what they do though, it's just drip fed to you. But you actually think to yourself, am I overthinking this? Is this normal behaviour? And you let it slide. But really, that's the moment where you need to be so strict within yourself and your boundaries and be like, well, I don't actually like being spoken to like that. Yeah. And you need to start speaking up for yourself. Like, stand firm on that.
Yeah, and then, you know, they make you feel bad about sticking up for yourself. Because, I mean, I've mentioned it before in this podcast, it was literally 3.5 months I spent with somebody who had these narcissistic qualities. And it was just massive amounts of love bombing right at the start, love bombing, and you're like, oh my God, like,
obviously would be obsessed with me.
Cheating tonight, like, always, you know, it was all this kind of amazing stuff at the start, huge effort and all that, and then it was just like little comments here, little comments there, and then my anxiety began to build, and that was my gut. But we began to build and build and build, and then I would be made to feel bad to have anxiety when I was trying to confide in him that I was just really not feeling good. And it was a case of, well, this is your problem. This is your problem. And I'm just like, oh, I thought you were going to be, I don't know, supportive. I don't know if that's wild to think.
That's too much.
What
are you talking about?
I know, what a needy bitch. What a needy,
get over yourself,
bitch for just confiding in a partner, you know.
How dare you?
And I had to, I began to like look through his phone and stuff because I just had that terrible gut feeling. And as soon as I saw he was messaging his ex on Snapchat, first of all, fuck off with Snapchat.
I know.
Fuck off. And I seen it and I was just like, excellent, because this is just an excuse to leave. Because sometimes you're like, nothing's really happening, and then if you were to say something about leaving, it could be a throw the toys at the pram situation, and then a massive love bombing, or make you feel bad, and then a few weeks later pretending nothing happened. And I'm just like, no, do you know what? No, not for me. But that little tiny taste of that sort of relationship terrified me enough to never, ever, ever put myself in that position ever again. And to the women who have ever dealt with like narcissistic relationships for years, girlies, I take my hat off to you. Like, I have no idea how you have done that. No, it makes me feel sick to my stomach.
Yeah. Like, I did go through that as well, but everything I said obviously was wrong, you know. And then there's the whole control aspect that comes into it as well. But at the time, you don't think like, am I being controlled? You're very much in this like other bubble. Other people can see it, but see, for you to actually, like we said before, look the mirror, like right at yourself and be like, right, what is actually going on here? Because then, in a way, it is to do with why are you settling for that type of behaviour? What is it, you know, within yourself?
Yeah, like why are you able to tolerate this? Like why are you wanting to like put yourself through? And it does really come from a place of insecurity, because these narcissistic types, little boy types, they can sense weakness almost, they can sense the insecurity, and they just devour you. And you do feel a little bit initially kind of like, oh no, they would never do that, because of the initial love bombing.
Yeah.
They put so much focus into, so much time and effort and all this stuff to almost trap you in the web.
Almost kind of to trap you into thinking like they would never, you know, that they're your best friend, they wouldn't do anything ever to hurt you.
And like convince you, so you're just like almost like they use you as a supply. They almost train your mind to use them as your supply. This, oh my God, yes, okay, I am beautiful. Okay, yeah, he says I'm beautiful, even though he really hurt my feelings with that comment the other night, or that really fell off the way he like pushed me. But it's fine because he loves me because he said all this stuff. So you almost start to bargain with yourself.
Yeah. But this is where you need to look into what he's saying and what he's doing. Yeah. You know, like take the words away. What's the actions telling you right now?
Aye.
It's a difficult choice to make. Like, even for instance, if you're being cheated on, maybe you know you're being cheated on and you're just putting up with it because, you know, it's someone that you've been with for so long.
Yeah.
And it's a scary thing to be the one that confronts it and to leave. It takes a lot of power and strength to be able to do that. But there comes a certain point where you need to think, like, this is my life, you know, I'm the one that gets to write the story of it. Is this a story that I'm going to live by?
Yeah.
And being treated like this? You can't like keep going in that way, like for yourself. And if you have kids, like you need to look at that as well. Like, what are you teaching your kids that it's okay to accept within a relationship? Like, what is love, you know?
Aye, I think that's an important thing to remember as well when it comes to like kids. I think a lot of people, obviously I don't have children, Sam does, so she's going to have like a better perspective on this. But for me, so many people want to like save their family lives. I know someone very, very close to me that wanted to save her family life, and it was just easier to stay. It was just easier. The house was there. Everything was set up in a family setting. You know, it was just easier. However, one happy parent is better than two unhappy parents. And we all
100%.
know what that kind of like, because it does create trauma. It does create trauma in children when you're, you know, get two very unhappy people and they're your basis for like, all you know, like, you know, oh, this is mum and this is how a woman is and this is how a woman treats a man and this is my dad and this is a man and this is how a man acts and this is how a man treats a woman. So like that, all that's getting downloaded into their little brains and what is actually going on there. And it's so difficult and tricky to navigate if you're not like a wee bit self-aware. If you're not self-aware and you're just really reactive, you know, you're either going to stay in this horrible relationship or leave and jump straight into something that's worse. Somebody who's went from bad to worse. I also know someone who did that as well.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you're like, you do need to, if you're feeling like sad or anxious or something, again, look in the mirror and be like, right, I feel sad and I feel anxious. So what is off? What is off within me? What is going on that's making me feel like this? And if it's abundantly clear that you're like, oh, I am with this person and they are like an anchor draining the life out me, then that's when you need to question and be like, right, am I removing myself from this situation or removing me and my children from this situation? And how am I going to do it?
Yeah, you need like an exit plan.
And this is why women leave mentally before they leave like physically, because we're like fucking planning it out, man. Planning it out.
Yeah.
We're not big and burly and massively strong and all that kind of stuff. Like at the end of the day, men are just stronger and faster than us. It's a fact.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if somebody's being like proper like cunty and they're like, you know, hitting you and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, get
exit
the fuck
plan,
out.
mate. You need
Get
an
the
exit
fuck
plan.
out.
Yeah. Because
it's not as easy as that. Obviously, you're like, yeah, get out. Like,
no.
You know, I've never been in like an abusive relationship, so I don't have any opinions on that of like my experience or nothing.
I've had no one hit me intentionally. I've had play fighting.
Oh, okay.
Which I think was low key masked. It was masked as like in this person's like bedroom down the side. It was like a kind of small space, probably about the width of me actually, from the bed to the wall, and it was play fighting. And I basically got down the side of the couch, down the side of the bed, and then just like kept there and like kept pushing off because this person was, first of all, he was massive, and second of all, he was strong. He was a lot stronger than me. So I'm just kind of like, oh, that made me feel a bit uncomfortable. Hence why I was like, get to fuck.
Yeah. That's why I'm so like, I instill this in my kids. You need to be independent within yourself and never, ever, ever depend on a man for anything. Well,
depend on a boy.
A boy, yes.
Depend on a boy, because we just want to make this abundantly clear for everybody, especially the clips on TikTok, that we are not men-hating women.
No, I love men.
We love a man. We just have a slight issue with boy behaviour.
Yes.
And when I say slight, I mean massive.
Massive issue.
Get a grab. Get a grab.
Get over yourself, fuck's
When
sake.
it comes to a man. Woo!
Get me a man.
A man. Right, okay, so let's define for the audience here.
But
because we went into narcissistic stuff, is a wee bit more serious, right? So why don't we just define our definitions of the difference between a boy and a man?
Okay, well, a man is a provider. He's a protector. You know, treats you like a fucking queen.
Hallelujah. See, I like, when I'm in a relationship, I'm obsessed with my man. Like, I'm obsessed.
I think that's healthy though.
I think that is so nice. It's so wonderful. You're celebrating each other every single day. I expect that back.
Yeah.
I expect that, but I don't understand why you wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, you've already committed, you're already in that together, you've made that statement. Like, why would you not be like, you know, want to show each other off and be that way with each other? Like,
see, he uses a word for me that I love, and he says, I adore you. He says it all the time, I adore you. And it's a word that I've never really fucked about with. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's a word that I was like, adore's there. Adore's sitting out there somewhere. But then he started using it and I was like, adore?
I adore you. Like, I
adore
love that.
you. And I'm like,
I love
So
that.
you should.
Yeah, but that's it. They're emotionally mature though. A man is emotionally mature.
Yeah.
You know, he can take accountability for what he's done.
Hallelujah.
If he's in the wrong, you know, he'll step up and say he's in the wrong. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they'll not be like shout argumentative. It's more like, let's have a conversation. What's going on with you? That upset you? Clearly, let's talk about it.
Aye, and that sort of thing when it's like, you know, they know you well enough to know, oh, she's a touch irritated. There's a high likelihood that she's probably in her luteal phase because she wasn't as irritated last week or whatever. Are you okay? Do you need me to do anything for you? Just talk to me. Just say it. Well, I'm feeling pissed off because of blah, blah, blah. Right? Well, let's just sort it out. Let's make you feel better. Like every night you'll come back with a little bit of chocolate for me.
Aww.
You know?
Yeah. It's those wee things though. You don't need like big, massive, like
I love chocolate.
material things like his gifts. Like it's just be something thoughtful that he knows that you love. Like that's.
He went through phases as well at the start of buying me like, see those squashy.
Did someone just crash?
I think he was towing. He was towing him.
Oh no! He was can't be towed. The toe is broken. He's been left. Bye, bitch.
I just went.
That's how quickly you need to detach from a toxic man.
We've manifested it right before our eyes. I mean, he's just overtaking me now. People are driving down the road.
He's still going. I needed that bit of humour there. Thank you.
Oh my god, poor guy.
He's still sitting there.
Anyway, sorry.
What are we talking about?
What are we talking about there?
Men. Healthy men.
Healthy men.
Healthy men.
Like, he went through a phase at the start, but see those squashy toys? See those squashies? He would go through a phase of like coming back and like, you know, with one of them. So there's loads in like the corner of the living room. Aww. And then I think he realised, he looked and he was like, that's getting pure ridiculous. So he just switched up to chocolate. And I was like, fair play.
Get no more space for these.
Fair play. And it's one of those things where like I'm trying to eat a lot better, so that's like my little sweet treat at night. You know, I don't need to go out and like buy like Jaffa cakes and fucking.
I love a Jaffa cake. You can't just have one though. You need to have a full strip of Jaffa cakes.
Well, see, that's it. Do you know Aldi they do obviously their own ones, but it's cherry bakewell.
I've not tried them.
Well, I've got a full box to the house.
How rude that you did not bring them in.
And my man will not be judging me for eating the entire sleeve.
Needs to be done.
Whereas boys would be like, what are you eating all that for? Do you know need to go to the gym? What are you doing that for? That's not very good, is it? It's literally a fucking...
Biscuit, leave me alone.
I know. Or is that cake?
It's cake. Oh, here's the debate.
Is that biscuit or cake? Either fucking way, it's gone down my gob and I'm enjoying it.
We had this debate in my girls' chat last week. I said it was a biscuit and everyone was like, no, it's definitely a cake.
Yeah. It's a cake, right?
It's in the biscuit aisle.
It's a tiny cake in the biscuit aisle.
Yeah,
it's like the chicken and the egg. Who came first? Fucking both. Do you know what I mean?
No, we're in a Kit Kat as well. I know, we're in a Kit Kat as well. That is a biscuit. They're like, no, it's a chocolate bar. And I'm like, need my biscuits. Need me.
In your bed, your hot water bottle, so you can buy all your biscuits and chocolate. Anyway, we went off tangent here.
I know, sorry. But bring it back.
Okay, so little boy behaviour for me is a guy who is not self-aware, who thinks he's dick.
Yeah.
Who almost takes tantrums.
Yeah.
Because, like, as we talk about, like, when we're touching, like, narcissistic stuff, you bringing up an issue or you bringing up your emotions or whatever, and then you're almost, like, scolded for it, you know, because it doesn't suit him. Whatever you're saying doesn't suit me, so I'm just going to make you feel bad about it because I'm just not willing to even deal with it. Someone who's on his mother's tit as well. someone who's still suckling from the milk of his mother's breasts.
Yep.
You know, you can have a man who has a good, solid relationship with their mum, and then you can have little boys who still kind of take those little tantrums. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Like, I've seen it in kind of past little relationships before, where you bring something up and it's almost like they transform into a little boy. And they take a tantrum, and that's what you see.
Yeah.
That's what you see. And for me, I'm just kind of like, no. You're actually better off single, I think.
Yeah.
You're better off single than having to deal with any of that sort of behaviour, because you end up going from a girlfriend to a mother. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to shag my wee boy.
No. I'm already a mum. I don't need
that's
another
when
one.
the sex starts to go. That's when they start looking for validation in other women instead of addressing the issue in the relationship.
That's when the cheating comes in.
And that's where the cheating comes in, where it's emotional cheating, which includes, you know, just seeking out female attention.
Getting validation from someone else.
Getting validation from another female, sending dick pics, sexting.
Or even like emotional cheating as well, where you're actually texting like another female other than your partner, and you're confiding in them over your partner.
That's
like,
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, though. That kind of, you know, looking for, you know, external validation and stuff. Reaching out to kind of exes. I just think it makes me feel sick, actually. It really upsets me when I think about someone emotionally cheating, physically cheating, just cheating in general. It makes me feel sick to my stomach. But this kind of brings up the question of, you know, being friends with an ex. What do you think about that? Can you, personally, for you, be friends with an ex? And how would you feel if your ex was your man was pals with their ex? Right. So
there's different kind of scenarios. So right now, being friends with an ex, for me, not being in a relationship, like all my past relationships, I've cut all my exes off really, really quickly. Like, I've just been like, right, okay, I don't feel anything else for you. But again, I emotionally detached before that happened, just like what we're talking about. So I was fine, like, delete their number, total cool, not friends with them anymore. If I see them though out like on the street and I'm passing by, I would probably stop and be like, oh, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, but I wouldn't be actively in their life. I think if you're both single and there's still something there and you think you can keep it as friends, then I think that's okay if that's something you both are okay exploring and you can keep your boundaries in place. But then things change. If I get a partner or that person, he gets a partner, that relationship can't happen anymore. That needs to be done. Like, delete my number, block me, do whatever you have to do, because I'll need to do that as well, because I find it highly disrespectful being in a relationship with someone who is still communicating or seeing their ex, but they're with me. I'm like, no, that relationship's over and done with. If you're still feeling you need to do that whilst you're in a relationship, then my thinking is you've still got underlying feelings for that person.
There's something there. Because see, at the end of the day, right, you've been inside her, mate. Do you know what I mean? You've been intimate with her, you've been in love with her, you've shared moments with her, like, and it's that kind of age-old question, when you fall out of love, where does the love go? You know?
Doesn't just vanish.
For me, for me personally, I've never really been pals with exes, ever. I've not really seen the need to be. It's not something I've ever really thought about. If my man was friendly with his ex, I would have a problem with it. I just don't, because I would never like even think about speaking to an ex. Like, my ex, like, you know, we got a dog together, we lived together, we were together for 18 months. It wasn't that long in the grand scheme of things, but he's such a good guy. I respect and honour that man. That's a man, right? I respect and honour that man. He's with someone else now that I know and that they're engaged. And I would never message him to disrespect her. I would never disrespect her, and I wouldn't disrespect my man by messaging him. I just don't see the point. It's never something that comes into my head. For me, like, that chapter's closed. I respect, I honour you, and I wish you all the best.
Yeah, like, continue your life.
I hope you have a great life. And if I see pictures of them and stuff like that, I just smile, because I just think it's nice.
Yeah.
Because they make more sense than what we did. They're happier than what we were. And I like that.
Aye, because you're not going to be right for everybody. You know, everybody's cup of tea. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes you're good on paper.
Aye.
You're good on paper, but you're not. That doesn't necessarily translate to a long-term relationship. I'm sure I've said that before.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just like, I don't even think about it. And none of my exes message me.
No, none of mine.
And I would just be like,
well, except one, but that's co-parenting.
At least trying to co-parent. You know, and I guess that's where I'm like lucky or like blessed in a way. I don't have dependents that I'm attached to in order to have this back and forth continual
but that's different now. There's like no feelings there. Like, every communication that we've got is like obviously just to do with the girls. There's never ever went over the line of like, oh, what's happening with you? Like, you know, how's life? You know, like,
it's very
nothing
like
ever.
Very like businessy.
Aye, it's very like, right,
you
boom,
have
girls,
them this day,
girls.
you get them this day, blah blah blah. Right, okay,
Aye,
so
that's literally it. Yeah.
But that's like cushy. Like, you know, when it comes to a time where, you know, you meet your person and you're happy and things like that, he's going to understand that, and he's not going to feel threatened by that.
Do you know what I would like to think? I would like to think that would be the case, because I've not had that fully yet, like proper. Had a bit of a taste of it, and then, but I don't really know what happened on their part, to be honest, on like that, like his side of the family. But as far as I'm aware, it was okay.
Aye, yeah. It was okay.
Not be told otherwise.
And because you do, like, I think you do want to get on with like everybody. Like, there's no like harsh feelings or whatever. But when it comes to exes or your man being pals with his ex or having any sort of communication, that just simply makes me feel uncomfortable.
Aye.
That makes me feel uncomfortable because I would never even think about that. What's the big deal? Why do you need to speak to them?
Yeah. And I just think, like, obviously, like we said, it's disrespectful, but then you think, look, why? What is the need to keep them in your life? Like, if you've already got a partner, like, what? If you don't think there's anything there that you want to rekindle, then cut it off. But I very much think there's still something there then if they keep them in their life.
I've said this before as well, like when it comes to like my pal and her husband, like they have that, you don't have close relationships with girls, and I don't have close relationships with guys, and that is the boundaries they've set up in their relationship, and that's what works for them. Personally, that's what works for me as well. Yeah. You know, not everybody will be like that. There could be some people where it is completely and utterly platonic, but only those people will know that it's platonic. The partners actually don't know that for sure. It's just a theory. You know? Yeah. Only these people know how they feel. Only this person will know that this is a platonic relationship, and I would never, ever, ever cross the line because I respect you. But this person might be looking at it like, well, that's a theory. So it could be a case of there is potential to go there. And for me, I just think it's a respect thing. I just think it's a respect thing.
And see if your partner's already voiced that to you and you're still doing it, you need to really question, is that the relationship you want to be in?
Like, don't waste people's time.
Like, you're dating for a reason. Like, see this as well, like, I'm dating for fun, like, fair enough, like, but in my head, I'm more like, well, is dating not for a purpose? Like, you're not dating, to be with someone.
Well, see, this is the thing, because we live in this modern world where, we, open our legs or sleep with multiple people. Like, for me, I don't want to do that. That's a personal choice. But there are people out there, men, women, who go out on dates to go have a good night and just have a shag, and if that's what you want to do, that's your prerogative. I think you just need to get clear with what you want. When I was in the dating scene, like, I'm looking for a long-term committed relationship. That's what I'm up for. Are you up for that? Okay, cool, let's see if we get along. if we're not really hitting it, okay, fair play, just go on a date with somebody else.
Aye.
Are you looking for a long-term relationship? Right, Kusha, let's see if this is going to be... And that's just how you do it. You just need to set like proper boundaries for yourself and know,
make sure you've obviously like stated what your intentions are, and you're not, like, if it is a relationship you're looking for, then you're not just there to, like, spread your legs and...
Aye, yeah.
Make that abundantly clear.
And then if you're going to like spread your legs and this guy's, up
safe.
for it, just be safe. Just be safe, don't be a silly sausage.
Yeah.
And don't, open your legs to his silly sausage if you're not feeling the vibes.
Oh my God, no.
No, if you're not feeling the vibes,
Yeah. But then, like, moving on to how do you go over a breakup?
Right. Being heartbroken is one of the worst experiences I think I've ever went through. I don't eat. I don't eat. When I am heartbroken, I feel so sick. I feel heavy chested, like there's a weight in my chest. I feel sick to my stomach and I can't eat.
Yeah, I get
that. And you just need to like survive. You get waves of like emotion where you just want to burst out crying, and then sometimes you'll feel okay, and then somebody will say something funny and you'll laugh, and then you'll get a wave of emotion again. Like it's so difficult to navigate because you're also like, maybe you want this relationship and they've broken up with you, and you're the one that's left heartbroken, and you're thinking to yourself, even the thought of them sleeping with somebody else,
it's horrible. It's a gut-wrenching feeling.
Honestly, mate.
It just triggers you though, because then you start getting into these downward spiral thoughts of why not me? Am I not like enough for them? And it's not anything to do with that. It's always to do with what the other person needs to work through.
Because if you've got a belief system that is I'm not good enough, that situation is reflecting back on you the belief that you already have. So it reinforces it. So you need to be so gentle with yourself when you're heartbroken, so gentle. My main bit of advice right at the start, if you are heartbroken, if someone has broken up with you, you don't want the relationship to end, but like it's happened, surround yourself with friends and family immediately. Do not be on your own, because when you're on your own you begin to spiral, and you'll end up messaging them, you'll end up phoning them. You might do it a wee bit too much, then they think you're a psycho, then you feel even worse because you're just trying to reach out. Surround yourself with friends and family, and women are quite good for this because we need to talk it out. We talk, we analyse it, we go over and over and over it, and then we have a glow up.
Every little detail.
Every
then
detail.
We do glow up,
Then we glow up. So is it not women... Like women are super emotional at the start, and then we begin to feel better, and men disassociate, then feel the emotions, and it takes them longer to get over it because as logical thinkers, it's over the end and the emotions kind of go on hold. But the longer that you're not with this person, the more these emotions kind of start to bubble up to the surface, and it's like, oh, now I need to deal with it. So men are more likely to go out and party and shag about at the start, whereas women are more likely to cry and get it all out to their friends and all that kind of stuff. And then later on, we glow up, we start going out, and then they start to get bedbound at times, and maybe not sleep with people or seek the company of Mr. John Barleycorn and get pissed and drown their sorrows because they're just feeling the emotion of this breakup.
Yeah, aye. Yeah, I would definitely not be messaging though. I would try to emotionally detach as much as possible, like go no contact.
I
for your own mental health, do it. And if you feel like you've got all this stuff you want to say to them, I would just write it down and then burn it. See that? See, oh my God.
I'm a blocker.
I block. See, immediately I'm like, block.
Because I
remove from social media. I do not want to see what you're doing.
Because I know myself well enough to know that I'm going to have a moment of weakness and I'm messaging you to declare my undying love for you, because I'm all in. So for me, I'm like, no, I just need to block, block, and then, you need to remind yourself of who you are. But first and foremost, surround yourself with friends and family and cry your fucking eyes out. Cry your eyes out.
And then in time, you'll actually realise, like, one, you're better off without them. You were better before they were in your life. You were, you were solid. You knew who you were. You had your hobbies. You had your friends. You didn't, you were secure within yourself. And
you survived before, so you'll survive after. It's just this blip, and then what have you learned about yourself in this process,
that's what I was going to say. The lessons will eventually start to pop up. It's like epiphanies and a new way of thinking, like a change of perspective of, like, you're seeing the relationship from a different angle now, like a different lens when you're not in it. I think when you're in it, you're so, like, rose-coloured glasses, like, everyone's cushy.
Everyone's cushy, and all those, like, kind of things that maybe you need to work on within yourself aren't really coming up because you do have the kind of rose tint on. And then when something happens, mistreated you're not. My issue was always codependency. So I would always all in intense, but I would require them for my validation, for my worth. So if their narrative wasn't how I wanted them to treat me, then I would, have a tantrum and be upset, but I would mask it as a sadness.
Yeah, see, I think I was codependent, but I was also, like, anxiously attached.
Mate. Anxiously attached, honestly, we're signing to the same hymn sheet. It's
horrible feeling.
It's horrible because
you can feel their energy as well. Like, see, like, if you feel they're pulling away, or maybe you feel like maybe they are cheating or whatever, that feeling is horrible. A woman's intuition never lies. I've learned this over and over again, to just keep trusting myself and don't shut it off and think, oh, it's just overthinking. It's not. Literally, your body tells you before it happens.
Picks up in the vibe that something is just off, like something's not 100%. And I think we pick up that feeling when we don't feel emotionally safe.
Yeah. But see, now though, after going through all those lessons, I'm securely attached.
See, that's really the goal, isn't it? Because when these things come up, say you're going through a breakup, and then you're maybe 6 months down the line, you've done all your crying, all that sort of stuff, you've had your glow up, and you're looking back on the relationship and you think to yourself, you know what, I needed to go through that in order to almost detach myself from these codependent, anxious feelings and then become securely, within myself. Within myself. I don't know where I'm going with this. I feel like I'm just saying words.
It took a while though to get there. Like, from, see, working through being anxiously attached and codependent and going, like, even abandonment issues as well. See, working through all of that to get to here. That's probably why I've been single for so long, because I really needed to hone in on me and healing all of them, so I know that I can do single parenting. Like, I've nailed this. I can take care of me. I can, like, take care financially of myself. So in a way, I don't need a man. It's more like, I would like one. I like companionship, that's fine. But if something was to happen, I can detach so easily now.
Well, see, this is the thing, because I kind of feel like the same as you. Like, I don't need to, like, I've got my own house, my car's paid off, I've got my own business, I can take care of myself financially, right? But that's all coming for, like, a kind of masculine energy type of place. They get up, they go, they provide. We're providing ourselves physically, financially. We're providing, emotional safety within ourselves. We're providing mental clarity. We're providing and safeguarding ourselves. So what happens when a proper masculine man, not a boy, proper masculine man comes along and requires you to fall into femininity?
See, this is what I don't know, because I've not experienced it fully yet.
Because with me, I find it hard to lie back and fully give my heart over to somebody and trust them with it and provide and safeguard and all that kind of stuff, because I was doing it for basically, I mean, I've had my house like 5 years, and I've had, like, obviously little relationship tapassy moments in there, but all in all, I've provided for myself. I've never put my finances together with someone properly.
No.
So, or even giving my heart freely, because it's precious and it's been hurt a lot, you know. Probably, you know, a lot to do with myself, with my own belief system, but I've learned that over the years. So I find it hard to like give it over and then fall back into being feminine.
Yeah.
Because then I feel super, super vulnerable. And am I going to be able to trust this person with me in a feminine state when I've been driven in providing myself and stepping into my masculine myself?
See, I had a bit of of it with like my last relationship. Like I felt emotionally safe in that.
Yeah.
And then I did feel like I could relax around this person, and like I was never ever afraid to speak my mind. If I felt I was being disrespected within that second, I'd be like, don't like it.
Yeah.
Like, I was not scared to lose that person, even though I cared about him so much.
Yeah.
I was like, I can do life without you. I feel disrespected. I feel like my boundaries like being pushed here. I'm going to voice it. You choose how you want to react or respond, up to you. But like, I'm not backing down on where I stand, what my values are. Like, so I think that's really important as well. But I felt in my feminine though, when I was with him. Like, I would do my makeup, I would put on nice dresses, I was getting treated to like nice dinner dates where I looked forward to getting dressed up.
Yeah.
And I got like, not spoiled, but do you know what I mean? Like, I felt like I was letting him lead.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the times on my past relationships.
A man who leads.
Past relationships though, I wasn't like that. I was very much the one that organised everything. Like, okay, we're going here for like the dates, you know. Yeah, it was all just kind of left to me though. Or else there was
Can
like,
he plan a date? Can he plan a future?
Logo. Yeah, so I've had like, I know I can do it. But it's just having the right person to come in and like proper do it now.
Yeah, I think I still, to this day, and even in my own relationship, I struggle to kind of, I'm going to get upset.
It's okay, you can, that's okay, it's called being human. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want to move on from it?
No, fuck it, this is raw and unfiltered.
Okay.
I feel like
do you want me to go get a tissue? You want me to get tissues? I got tissues.
Why am I getting so upset?
Because it means something to you.
Oh my god. It's because the sun's fucking away. I've got the sad. Thanks, girl. I'm alright with showing this stuff because this is the whole point of the podcast. I do still struggle to give, like, I still struggle to let him take care of me because he's got his own stuff going on, and it's really, really difficult. So I still am holding myself masculine to keep him afloat as well as me.
We're going to just shuffle on over and do cuddles. But that's okay to do that though. Right now, it's eventually you'll be into your feminine with them. It's just right now, this is a lesson, and this is just part of the journey that you guys are on. It's hard, and there's no rule book for it and how to navigate it and get through it.
That is exactly what I said to him. Like, yesterday, I was like, I do not know. I've never been like down this road before. Yeah, thanks.
I'm all just sitting
the booty. I've never been like down this road before. I've never navigated something like this before, so I'm not sure how to go about it. I'm just kind of going with the peaks and flows, but I find it difficult. And but we do this thing. We love each other dearly. We love each other dearly. That's one thing I do know.
Yeah.
And we just say to each other, right, we'll just start again. We'll just start again. Can we just start again? And we just, draw a line under it whenever stuff comes up. Obviously, it's super, super private. I wouldn't be, sharing this. But either way, like, he's got some stuff, I've got some stuff. I've worked on myself for longer. So I wouldn't say that I'm like, I'm not better, you know, I'm not ahead, if you will. I'm just, you know, a wee bit more clicked on to certain things.
Yeah.
I'm just a wee bit more self-aware than maybe he is. And I can pick up on things faster. And
that's good though.
And it's almost like, in fact, do you know what? Has anybody seen Top Gun Maverick? Is it any who's watched that movie? So you know how they're in the, what are they, jets?
The fighter.
The fighter.
Plane.
Right, okay, so you've got the person who's piloting it, and then you've got the person behind who's looking out.
Yep.
I feel like I'm the person behind looking out, and I feel like this is maybe a good analogy for the masculine and feminine dynamic, because the masculine leads, so the masculine's in the pilot seat, and as a female, because we are classed as a helpmate, which it doesn't mean that women are lower than men, by the way, it just means that we are equal but we're different, same but different, right? So they lead and we look out and multiply. So women are going to bring up issues in the relationship before the man does, because we can see in the peripheral, whereas they're looking straight ahead. So for me, I just feel like you know, in the back of the fighter jet, looking at all these things and being like, this is coming to your left, this is coming to your right, this is coming from behind you, you need to watch out for this. And as he's navigating this huge, you know, huge thing that he's going through, sometimes he has blind spots, and I feel like I'm just kind of getting up and sometimes carrying the both of us at times, and it feels like a bit of a heavy weight, but I have faith. I love him, I believe in him, and I just think like the last maybe month or something has just been like quite hard, and I've just been feeling like emotional. And
it's normal, mate. It's all right to do that. It's like a roller coaster the two of you are on right now.
It really is, and it feels like a roller coaster as well.
But you have no idea the impact you're having on him. See, even for being someone that's not leaving him and you're standing by his side, that's incredible. A lot of people would bail. You know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if the shoe was in the other foot, he would bail.
Bye.
But do you know, I just wish that people would be more honest about the hardships in their relationships, instead of putting off about how hunky-dory and how, you know, sunshine and rainbows, everything is online. Like, I'm sorry, but get to fuck with that. Like, relationships are hard. Everybody's like, oh, marriages are hard. A marriage is a relationship. Relationships are hard, and you're going to come up against these tough things, and it's, you know, are you going to start again and fight over, or are you going to separate? And that's really what it comes to when it comes to breakups. What are you able to tolerate? Do you know each other well enough to navigate through tough times? Because, I mean, you will go through dark valleys in your relationship. It's not always going to be the mountaintop when the sun's shining and everything's beautiful and you're having a wee picnic up the top. All these like kind of fluffy, rainbowy, glitter-covered relationships, and it's just like, fuck off.
It's only a highlight of the relationship that people show. No one ever wants to get real and raw and honest about what goes on behind the scenes. And do you know what? That's okay. Live a private life. Like, that's absolutely fine.
See, when someone says to me or confides in me that they've went through a hard time, I remember doing this client years ago. I don't do it anymore, but she said, oh, I met my man and within 3 months, like, we'd bought a house and blah, blah, blah. And they are still together. And it was like 17 years they've been together. Well, it must be about 19 years now. But they have a teenage daughter. They've been together for, 19 years, like I said. But she said to me, listen, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows. We were very, very close a couple of times for it to not make it. So they were so close twice in that period of time. And I'm like, thank you, that's made me feel 10 times fucking better. Being vulnerable and open and honest and raw and gritty about what it actually means for two people to come together with two of their different stuff and walk in the same fucking direction.
Aye. Make that choice
Make the
together, to be
choice.
in it together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, guys.
It's cold in here.
Where's my cup? It's fucking freezing, but I'll still take it. No, it's okay. It's got the dregs. It's the dregs.
Pretty much finished, guys. We got flavour in it.
So there we go. It's the first time I've cried in the podcast. Is this episode 9?
Episode 9. Yeah.
It took me 9 episodes to cry, but I got there.
Episode 100, you might see me shed a little bit.
You're still to have a good greet.
I've not done it yet, I know.
Oh, God.
Pent up.
I'll meet you, like.
Slapper.
I'll meet you. Aye, so again, this has probably went in 17 different directions, but I always feel like it does go like that with any subject we talk about, but then I watch it back and I'm like, actually, that flow's all right, you know. Yeah. We've got a beautiful camera lady behind us telling us that it's flowing okay, because I can't tell at this point. But aye, when it comes to like relationships and breakups and all that kind of stuff, I think my kind of summary would be: get to know yourself and get to have a strong relationship with you. You're with yourself 24/7, 365. The most important relationship really is the one that you've got with yourself. Get to know yourself, get to know your weaknesses, your strengths, get to know what you're able to tolerate within another person, get to know what you want in a relationship. And then if you meet somebody and you get to, you know, go on this adventure together, the peaks and the troughs, then, you know, go for it and savour it, because at the end of the day, we are here in this time with the people that are here. Like, I am here in this time with him.
Yeah.
And even though sometimes it can be hard and challenging, I would prefer to be here with him than kind of anything else sort of thing.
Mine would be, I very much agree with that full statement, but I would like just never abandon yourself.
No, don't abandon yourself.
Never abandon yourself for
don't
anyone.
Abandon yourself.
Not even like, speaking of like men, but like even in friendships, like always know who you are. Be so secure and stable within who you are. But if you've got hobbies and stuff, keep your hobbies. If you've made plans with like, you know, friends, keep your plans, don't cancel just because like if your man turned around and goes, oh, okay, I want to see you today, but they never made a plan until 5 minutes before they want to see you. I'm like, don't be cancelling shit like that.
No, go with your
never abandon yourself.
Family. Yeah, get a good relationship with you, and honestly, everything will unfold the way it's supposed to. I truly believe that. Again, probably a wee bit more serious this week, but the viewers seem to like the kind of, you know, we
peaks
and troughs of the podcast.
Real conversations. Again, this is something that we both needed to talk about today. We both came in and we had this on our minds because we both like had a few things been happening recently that we're trying to navigate and help each other through it and heal through it together. And that's what women do. We come together to help and like pull each other out the other side.
Absolutely.
Like we never go through it on our own. Yeah, and if you are going through it on your own, please confide in your friends.
Or even better yet, reach out to the podcast, reach out to us. Tell us about your woes, tell us about, you know, a situation that you're going through, and if you're feeling like you're needing kind of any sort of advice, or if you just want somebody to just listen to you.
Oh yeah.
Just somebody to listen.
Sometimes you just don't need advice, you just need to get it off your chest and
because you know the answer anyway. You know the answer deep down. Same as you take the you know, highly, you know, heartbroken fucking emotion away from it. You do know the answer because you feel it in here for sure.
Yeah, sometimes it's just you need someone to confirm it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Let us know your take on what we've just covered. Like, how do you get through breakups? What's your opinions on, you know, staying friends with your ex? Do you? Don't you?
I know.
Like, what do you stand on?
I know you can have a completely different like opinion to us. Like, we welcome that. We welcome it. Like, let's have a debate, or let's have different opinions flung around. Like, why not?
Is a Jaffa cake is that
a cake and a biscuit?
It
says cake in the name.
Samantha. Fine. What about a Kit Kat then, or a Twix? What's that? that a chocolate bar or is that a biscuit? Like, what is that? Is that a
Fucking
cake?
delicious, that's what it is.
Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. We love you.
Love you. Bye.